Now the Lord spoke to Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron. By the way, that would be Nadab and Abihu. Okay, there's the two sons of Aaron. When they offered profane fire before the Lord, and they died. And the Lord said to Moses, tell Aaron your brother not to come at just any time into the holy place inside the veil before the mercy seat, which is on the ark, lest he die. For I will appear in the cloud above the mercy seat. Thus Aaron shall come into the holy place with the blood of a young bull as a sin offering, and of a ram as a burnt offering. He shall put the holy linen tunic and the linen trousers on his body. He shall be girded with a linen sash, and with the linen turban he shall be attired. These are holy garments. Therefore he shall wash his body in water and put them on. And he shall take from the congregation of the children of Israel 2 kids of the goats, that's 2 baby goats, as a sin offering, and 1 ram as a burnt offering. Aaron shall offer the bull as a sin offering. Now watch this in that 6th verse. Aaron shall offer the bull as a sin offering for himself, and then make atonement for himself and for his house. And he shall take the 2 goats and present them before the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. I want to stop there for a moment. I want to remind you of something at the top of the chapter. After Aaron loses his sons, the Lord appears to Moses and speaks. The Bible skips 6 chapters. It skips parts of 5.5. Nadab and Abihu happened in Leviticus 10. In Leviticus 16, the chapter opens with, and God spoke after Nadab and Abihu died, and he said this. And what comes out next is the instructions for the Day of Atonement. Israel's Day of Atonement is once a year. The high priest brings a bull, and he sacrifices the bull for his own sin. This is a very important distinction. He sacrifices the bull for his own sin. Doesn't matter about Israel. I'm not dealing with Israel yet. I'm dealing with me. I'm a priest, but I have problems. And I got my own issues. And the bull is for my sin. And he brings 2 little goats. And the 2 goats are both offered as a sacrifice for Israel. One will live, one will die. We'll walk through that ceremony in just a moment. But did you notice that the Day of Atonement is a response to the Nadab and Abihu story? God does not give instructions for the Day of Atonement until Nadab and Abihu have died drunk in the service of the tabernacle. And so God's response then is, and again, I don't think it's God going, oh boy, I didn't think about that. Well, these priests are messed up. I got to fix that. We can't let that happen again. But it's now that man sees now that the priesthood has had a full revelation of how volatile they are, how sinful they are, how weak they are. There's a need for a revelation that they need their own sins taken care of first so that the sins of Israel can be taken. Because up until this point, there was no sacrifice that was on behalf of just the priest in front of a sacrifice for Israel. So God enacts the Day of Atonement, whereby the priest comes in once a year and offers a bull for his own sin, and it's a response. The key feature of this is that the high priest is publicly, not just privately, publicly atoned for, and that's God's first priority. The high priest is publicly atoned for by sacrificing a bull. That's the largest possible blood sacrifice in Israel's list of sacrifices, the bull. And the reason are mostly economic, by the way. If you've ever wondered why does one guy offer a bull, and one guy offer a goat, one guy offer a lamb, and one guy offer a pigeon? Because not everybody had the same amount of money. And God wanted redemption to be equal. So if he made everybody offer a lamb, poor people would struggle. I can't afford a lamb. Oh, sorry, you can't be redeemed. You go, let's fix that. So God's economy was, if you have a lot, you sacrifice a bull. If you have less, you sacrifice a goat, sheep, pigeon. What does Mary bring in as a sacrifice of purification for baby Jesus in the New Testament? Doves, pigeons and turtle doves. That was the poor man's sacrifice. So Jesus is born into a house that the best they can afford is pigeons and turtle doves, and they bring the sacrifice in. That's a side note, but that's just to keep your wheels turning on what all of this ends up meaning. So as a first priority, it's the priest first. But think about this. This is in your heritage now if you're an Israelite. Nadab and Abihu, those dudes were bad. What if the rest of these priests are doing this before they go in and offer the sacrifice for me? Man, I need some assurance that these guys are on the level, because we thought Nadab and Abihu were cool. Next thing we know, they're dead. If the priest is my way to get to God, what happens if these priests are a bunch of sinners? We're all in trouble. So God institutes the Day of Atonement so that the people can have confidence that their priest is clean. By publicly offering the bull, the people, the whole body of Israel, can look at the priest and say, okay, well, at least the voice to God is in good shape. So the next sacrifice, it's God stacking confidences on top of one another as the sacrificial system unfolds in the land of Israel. So it's to give atonement for the priest and to give assurance to the people.